Hi, I'm Jerry Wise, a therapist from Family Tree Counseling Associates in Carmel, Indiana, on the north side of Indianapolis. And I'm fortunate enough to be here on Miami South Beach in Miami, Florida. I wanted to bring you a little fun and a little sun, along with a short video today on shame. The title of the video is entitled, Shame Makes You Smaller. We've been doing a lot of talking about shame recently on our blogs and websites, and Mark Smith has been writing a book on shame, and I wanted to share with you a few points this morning regarding shame and how shame makes us smaller. Shame is the experience of feeling diminished in the presence of others. In other words, it's not just that we've done something wrong, but there's something wrong with us, and we feel wrong, not just our behavior. Feeling diminished makes us feel smaller than others. When we experience shame, we want to wilt or wither, and we don't feel like we can measure up to the rest of humanity. When we feel shame or have a toxic, shame-based life, we want to shrink and even disappear when this shame hits us. Most of us have learned and internalized our family shame while growing up. Some of us have failed or behaved in shameful ways, creating a pool of shame inside us which can be tapped quite often. And again, if we grow up in our family of origin and there are lots of shame experiences growing up in alcoholic families or dysfunctional families, then we're going to have a pool of shame that's going to be tapped as we get older. The smaller that pool of shame, or if we eradicate that pool of shame, then that doesn't and won't get tapped in us as adults. But that requires recovery, healing, therapy, and some help. Second of all, shame makes us smaller in a second way. We feel our lives deserve to shrink. We feel our lives should shrink rather than expand. That we should live shorter rather than longer. We should have a lesser job rather than a greater job. That we should not explore new careers or new job opportunities, because for those of us who suffer with toxic shame, this just feels too big, too expansive. Shame is about shrinking and feeling and getting smaller. For example, shame-based sufferers accept only smaller tasks and responsibilities, even though they're talented, intelligent, and have great personalities, maybe even have quite a bit of calmness and maturity. But they can't accept those larger tasks because they don't feel large themselves in a healthy way. I remember this particularly when I was pastoring for a decade or more, and I remember people would take lesser jobs rather than greater jobs that they actually might be more fitted for, had the intelligence for, and the ability for. Because shame could also keeps us held back from new opportunities. Those who live with toxic shame always feel something or someone is holding them back. They don't apply for the promotion because Joe is felt to be a better fit for that job, and that no, I just feel I'm undeserving of it, and that would be way beyond something I would be worthy of. Number 3, shame makes us smaller in our relationships. Those who live shame-based lives often either are doormats or are angry and controlling. Shame produces either extreme. Shame fuels who we pick as partners. So again, if we feel small or if we feel diminished, then our relationships are going to be equally the same. Shame limits our ability to receive and experience being loved. Shame blocks being loved, and shame blocks us loving others. Shame limits our capacity for intimacy, in which we often substitute enmeshment. We substitute enmeshment for love. That's what shame-based folks do. And we also substitute enmeshment or overfusion for healthy intimacy. There's usually not enough separation between ourselves and others to have a healthy relationship. We just glob on and become oceanic and just become two in an unhealthy way. Shame sets our baseline very low for self-differentiation. I've talked about self-differentiation in other videos. You can take a look at those on YouTube. And it sets our baseline for healthy relationships very low. When we have experienced lots of shame, or our life has been filled with shame growing up. We often ask, are there any healthy or happily married people out there? Because our baseline says no. Because we don't believe that's even possible. And so we believe it's not happening anywhere else. Because our paradigm, our perspective, our baseline doesn't even allow that as an option. Because shame keeps us smaller in our relationships. Fourthly, shame makes us smaller when it comes to passing along emotional backbone and imprinting for intimate love to our children. Shame makes us give our kids a smaller gift of self-esteem, self-confidence, balanced emotional life, and less reactivity. When we're full of shame, we give them all of the opposites of those. Shame fuels extremes in our emotional and relationship lives. If we experience a lot of shame or shame-based, we have lots of reactivity, we over and under function, we have hurt, pain, and avoidance often in our lives. And this is the model that our kids inherit. The gift we pass on to our kids and future generations is smaller. Shame, again, makes us smaller. These are some of the ways the feeling of shame makes us smaller. Living shame-based is very self-diminishing and self-destructive for happiness. I want you to read Mark Smith's book that he's just come out with. I want you to read John Bradshaw's book on shame. And if you'd like to recover from shame, and you'd like to expand and grow the boundaries of your life, I want you to give me a call at 317-919-6264. The contact information is on your screen. Please join our YouTube channel at Family Tree Counseling channel on YouTube. I want to thank you for listening today, and from warm and sunny Miami Beach, have a great day.